Hello, hola a todos, and welcome to this Executive Explainer. I'm speaking to you today as the General Manager of Ting. We're going to look at something really crucial, how bridging intercultural communication with structural organizational knowledge actually solves real-world business friction. Specifically, we're going to dive into how we completely eliminate Mercado Pago collection fraud and that frustrating divided attention you see at the checkout counter.
Here's our roadmap for today. We'll start with the intercultural challenge, move into adaptation and third culture, look beyond words at nonverbal codes, break down the SEIK knowledge matrix, define intellectual capital, and finally, integrate knowledge and culture. Let's jump right in.
Section 1. The Intercultural Challenge.
So ask yourself, is just speaking the same language actually enough to truly understand each other? Well, think about a digital payment, a translated receipt. That doesn't magically create a secure transaction, right? True security is created by mutual trust and a shared, instant understanding that the payment is 100% legitimate.
This brings us to intercultural communication. By definition, it's the exchange and interpretation of unique signals between folks from entirely different cultural backgrounds. In the retail world, standardizing this communication between a merchant and a hugely diverse customer base, it's absolutely vital. It's how we avoid misunderstandings and, crucially, how we prevent fraud.
Moving to Section 2, Adaptation and Third Culture.
Okay, let's dive into this. We have two prominent sociological theories here. Yum Kim's adaptation theory tells us that culture shock is basically a necessary part of communicating across differences, learning and unlearning customs. On the flip side, Kazmir's third culture theory focuses on mutual adjustment, finding common ground to synthesize a brand new shared third culture. Now at Ting, we apply this directly. By providing multi-language voice support like in Chinese and English for payment confirmations, we're literally helping merchants bypass the culture shock of foreign payment systems. We build a shared third culture of absolute transparency.
Section 3. Beyond Words, Nonverbal Codes.
We're talking about the silent drivers of communication here, gestures, physical distance, the contextual use of time, and how we respond to specific situations. In retail, divided attention is a massive nonverbal factor. Think about it. When a cashier physically steps away, just to check the owner's cell phone to verify a Mercado Pago transfer, that physical delay, it sends a silent, powerful message of distrust and inefficiency right to the customer.
Juan Pablo Mora really hit the nail on the head here. He states that the stereotype is the main obstacle to communication between cultures, and that we must not analyze one culture using the keys of another. Ting's corporate ethos demands deep respect for these varied intercultural codes. We don't judge the friction. Instead, we build impartial tools to eliminate it.
Let's move to Section 4 and see how this builds into the SEC knowledge matrix. Now, what's really interesting about this matrix by Nonaka and Takuuchi is how it illustrates the spiral of knowledge creation. It's like a giant blueprint showing how raw data becomes information and how that information then transforms into permanent organizational knowledge. It does this by cycling between tacit, behavioral knowledge and explicit, documented knowledge. The process spirals through 4 steps: socialization, externalization, combination, and internalization. Let me explain how Ting uses this exact concept to solve Mercado Pago fraud. Imagine a digital payment notification arrives. That's explicit knowledge in the combination phase. Ting instantly transforms that digital notice into a real-time, multi-language sound alert. The moment the employee hears it, they internalize it as a safe, automatic reflex. It becomes new conocimiento tácito, or tacit knowledge. We literally turn explicit data into a seamless operational habit.
Which brings us to Section 5, Defining Intellectual Capital.
Capital intellectual, or intellectual capital, is essentially built on 4 pillars: human, structural, relational, and social capital. Ting is really a perfect fusion of these. By automating payment verification, we're optimizing structural capital. That frees up employees to actually focus on service, which gives a huge boost to human capital. And of course, by eliminating the friction of fake receipts, we drastically improve relational capital with the final client.
So the crucial point here is this. When an employee leaves the company, sure, they take their individual skills, but they never take the intellectual capital with them. The procedures, the structural safety nets like Ting's Smart Alert system, those remain completely unique and proprietary to your business. You're institutionalizing trust, so it survives any personnel change. That's a real game changer.
Finally, Section 6, Integrating Knowledge and Culture.
By understanding cultural adaptation, respecting those silent nonverbal codes, and utilizing the SESI matrix, businesses can solve massive operational headaches. So I'll leave you with this question. How does your organization navigate diverse cultures to transform daily human interactions into lasting structural knowledge? The opportunity to build a true bridge of understanding is right in your hands. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Muchas gracias.